Probably the last time I was in a salon was 2018, and it was at this exact same Curl Ambassadors location when I came in for a dry cut, and they just trimmed off a little bit off the tips of my hair. I haven't had a professional cut or color where I actually cut some layers or something into my hair in probably a decade. So I'm very excited for today's appointment. My everyday hair habits include a very, very basic refresh. So I use an infinity spray bottle, a few pumps of our LUS Curly, spritz, dab it in, that's it, go. I wash my hair every 5 to 6 days, so that's my wash cycle. And on my wash day, I use shampoo, conditioner, and the all-in-one curly. And then I'll say every month I deep condition. I probably should be doing it every 2 weeks, but I'm a very, very lazy curly girl, so once a month I deep condition. I diffuse. I have to diffuse my hair because it will take forever for this to dry, so I normally diffuse and that's it. And then I sometimes apply the elixir oil to my scalp or to the ends of my hair for extra moisture and hydration. So since having a baby 7.5 months ago, I have noticed my hair definitely thin out. I did experience the postpartum hair loss right around here, the widow's peak. Happened about exactly 4 months. Everyone told me just wait for it. 4 months in, it's gonna happen. It did, but in the last few months, ever since I've started just putting my hair up in a bun, because the little guy grabs at my hair. It doesn't matter how tight my hair is. He'll grab at the back, he'll grab at the front, and he'll just pull on it. You'll see this, like, you know you're a mom when you just have an elastic band around your wrist all the time, because at any moment, you guys want to see my typical mom day look? Pretty much this. This is how I look all the time now. So since doing this, I've noticed my hair start to get straighter. So my hair's always been up in a bun, and I have noticed as a result, this part of my hair just start to straighten out because I'm yanking it tight all the time. So I'm really excited to get a trim today and see my curls just bounce back. So I'm looking forward to getting, you could see the ends of my hair start to go a little reddish brownish, because normally when I dye my hair at home, I just do my grays and that's it. So I'll dye just the roots, I don't do the ends. So I'm looking for that uniform color, that richness, inserting some color back into my hair, and then a trim so I can see my curls start to come back.
Hi, my name's Orlena. I'm a stylist at the Curl Ambassadors on Harvard. I've been here about 14 years, I think. It's been a while. Seen the company grow, and I have a passion for curl, so been working here ever since. What inspired me to become a specialist? Actually, it was just more kind of like I fell into it. Chinese Jamaican. Within my family alone, there's like 4 or 5 different types and textures. Wavy, curly, straight. And then also within the family, I've always kind of worked with doing hair on Sunday evenings and, you know, combing out curls and trimming and maintaining all these heads of curly hair. And it just kind of came naturally to me. When I found the salon, it was the perfect fit. I would say the best way to communicate with a stylist is to be really honest and try to take the nerves out of the situation, especially if you're talking to a curl specialist. They're gonna know that there's previous hair trauma and that we gotta go lightly. So we're gonna have to, like, you know, find out what your lifestyle is, find out what your styling technique is. Share with the stylist as much information as you can. And each curly haircut is different to each person. So you can get an idea from some inspiration photos what you might like and what you might not like.
So the end result today is great coverage, and you recommended I go a little bit lighter than my typical 3N?
Yeah, maybe just bumping it up 1. You know, 1 level would be good. And then that way it doesn't look as harsh coming back in. And then yeah, some nice shape to pick up the curls, give it some volume.
What do you request customers do before their appointment?
You need to be able to get through those curls. So you want to make sure that it's not like 4th or 5th day hair, that it's maybe day 1 or 2 day hair, so that, you know, we can actually go through and begin the shape, because the shape is most important.
Do you guys always cut curly hair dry?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. That's the main thing, is for the shape.
Yeah.
You might go in wet for balance, and if it's been a really long time or if we're changing the length significantly, we might go in wet to clean it up.
But typically dry, because when your hair is straight and you cut it, that's not how it dries when it's curly. When I started coming to Curl Ambassadors, this was my first curl salon, and they cut my hair dry and it was life-changing. I was like, oh my God, my hair actually looks the way it's supposed to look. This was what she called the yucky ends that had to come off, apparently. This stuff was weighing my hair down. So we'll see it afterwards. This is just a preliminary. There's gonna be more coming off. does curly hair need a different dyeing and coloring technique than straight hair?
I wouldn't necessarily say different. I would say, the process is similar, but the ingredients used or the intensity of the strength of it should be a little bit softer and more delicate because curly hair is fragile and dry. You don't want to do anything too abrasive or harsh.
Now, before I started coming to a curl salon, they always used to tell me to straighten my hair before coming in for a color. Do you find it hard when people come in and their hair is styled curly?
No, actually. It's just a matter of making sure that you go through, fingers separate, as long as the hair isn't completely tangled. So that's why we usually ask for people to come a bit, not too many days in, because then it becomes harder to separate. But within a couple of days, we can easily separate without causing pain to the client, and we can color without having you to go through a whole straightening process first.
So how do you handle incoming grays when they're a different texture?
Usually the grays tend to be a bit more wiry. So it's just a matter of just dealing with it until the color can get on there and soften it down. Yeah, most of the time I would say with clients that have grays, if you've got little extra sticky uppies, then use a little leave-in to lay them down until you can come in and touch them up.
Yeah.
And sometimes they are different textures. Sometimes they're straighter. Sometimes they're curlier. Most of the time they're straighter.
So what advice would you give someone looking to embrace their naturally gray curly hair?
Moisture. Lots of moisture and patience. If you want to embrace it and let it come in, just know that it's not a beautiful process while it's happening. But once it's all kind of uniform, it will actually start to kind of find its groove.
Every time I go a long time in between colors, I say, okay, this is it. This is when I'm gonna let my salt and pepper come through. I'm gonna own it, and then I wear my hair up, and I get tired of it, and I go and dye it again. We have so many people in our community though that they just rock their silvers and they look so beautiful.
Yeah.
And I'm envious because I'm like, when is my hair gonna be all gray?
Because it just happens in spots too. Sometimes it's just around the temples or right around the part
because
line.
my hair is long,
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna have a period where my hair is gonna be half gray grown out, right?
Yep.
So what's the most important thing to know when coloring curly hair? Like anything to avoid?
I would say try to make sure that whatever you're using is ammonia-free.
Yeah.
Ammonia tends to blow the cuticle wide open, so we don't want to do that with curly hair because that means moisture loss. Once that cuticle's open and if it doesn't close back down, you're going to lose moisture. And it can also sometimes damage the hair if left on too long. So here we do carry ammonia-free color, which is, it might work a little bit slower and a little bit more gentler, but it's nicer on the curl. It doesn't cause it to go into shock.
That's the most important thing. I know as curlies we spend so much time and energy caring for our curls, and the last thing you want to do is cause damage.
Yep.
For short-term gain.
Exactly. What I love about the free step is the simplicity, especially if you're coming from a world of not really knowing your curls and then jumping into this world of curly hair products, which is everybody and their mama's got a curl product and there's all these cocktails and people putting in a million things. I like that it's simple. It hits the nail on the head where it needs to. It's sulfate free, it's silicone free, it's moisturizing, and it makes it nice and easy so you don't have to buy a million things. It's just a nice, simple process that is effective and works. Biggest piece of advice I can give to someone starting their curl journey is that your hair will take on what you do to it. So if you've been constantly straightening it, it's gonna take a while to come back from that. But don't give up because it'll actually get better. As long as your hair isn't damaged from the heat styling or straightening or relaxer or whatever you're coming from, stopping in at a curl specialist will help you understand what you should be doing versus what you have been doing. And then just kind of stick to it because the more you do it, the better it'll get. With the difficult journey, sometimes it's because of people flip-flopping back and forth. And if you are gonna flip-flop back and forth, there are ways to protect the curl while sometimes occasionally straightening, but just knowing the know-how of how to protect your hair when it's not in its curly state. So that way you don't get frustrated with the back and forth. Working with someone that actually understands curls is a game changer. I find that it's good to understand the curl when you're working with it, because a lot of times you'll go to a salon and they'll give you something that you can't recreate. So I would recommend it for anybody with any sort of wave pattern or texture if you wear your hair naturally curly. The most rewarding part is getting someone to love their hair. Most of the time we come in with all these like shameful attachments from the past of like, it's unruly, it looks frizzy, it looks messy. So when I can teach someone to style it in a way that makes them feel comfortable and confident and give them a shape that they love, it just makes me feel like I'm helping spread the love of curl. Advice I'd give to people that don't enjoy their natural texture, you just gotta have to like learn to see that this is what nature is giving you. You know, it may not be an instant love, but the more you learn about it and start to accept it, then it will become like a beautiful reflection of who you are.
Okay, so here it is, colored, styled, trimmed, layers. I love it. Colors covered. She didn't go as dark as I usually do, but the ends of my hair were like copper orange, and now it's all one uniform, luscious color. And she trimmed it, so she trimmed it dry at the beginning, got rid of the straggly ends, and then she washed and styled and did a final trim. It was amazing. I mean, if you haven't tried a curly cut, you need to try a curly cut. Find a curl specialist in your area and just get it done. I want the volume, I want a little bit extra frizz. I don't really want perfect curl. I want to be able to move my hair and flip it from side to side. And that's exactly what we've got here today. I'm really happy. I got some shape. My hair has been a uniform length for a long time. Yeah, usually after a wash or two, your curls start to bounce up more after a fresh cut. So I'm really excited. I'm happy.